All right, so here we are, Beresford's top 10 solitaire games. I like solitaire games. Of course, I like playing with people as well. But I just enjoy sitting down and playing a game by myself every now and then. Now, about this top 10 list, it changes often because some weeks, some days even, I want a more thinky game, a more, heavier puzzly kind of game. Other times I just want casual play, just to pass the time. Just a little enjoyable little game to play, right? So this list changes quite often, but I'd say this is, my 2020 list. The exact numbers there, maybe number 4 sometimes is number 7. It's not exact. Top 10. And I have some honorable mentions. So I promise this will be a quick video. So let's begin. Honorable mention number 1 is a Blood Red Banner. Victory point game, has to do with the Alamo. You're fighting off the attack on the Alamo. It's not around anymore, and that's a shame. I wish they would republish this or make an app out of it or something. But it's a joy to play. I still play it. I've been playing it for years, and it's definitely got an honorable mention here on my list. Another honorable mention is Deep Space D6, and I'll throw in Desolate next to that because they're not totally similar, but kind of. Here you're looking for some power cells, and you're fighting some aliens in here. Of course, you're fighting aliens as well on ships, and you have a ship, and your ship takes damage, and different things happen. I've played both of these a lot. I've played Deep Space D6 more than I've played Desolate, but Desolate's an enjoyable little solitaire game as well, so it gets an honorable mention along with Deep Space D6. I also have to include in the honorable mention Cuckoo Clever. This is a game I played a ton of times, when it first came out. This is the German edition. It's published in the U.S. now by Stronghold Games, so you can still find it. In fact, I've seen this at Barnes & Noble. So a very thinky kind of game. You roll these dice, and then you have to fill in these different areas here, and you have to do it in a certain way, and you're trying to get the most amount of points possible. But it takes some planning, but it's a joy to play. Cuckoo Clever. And I have to mention, because one more honorable mention, because I play these games, and these are my own games. Okay, 13 and Harvesting 12. I have copies of this in the car, and I still play these. It's a micro solitaire puzzle game, and I'll throw it out on the table and play it. This 13 cards and this 12 cards, even though it comes with 18 for more variability. So, my two little games get an honorable mention because I play them and I like them. So let's go to my number 10. My number 10 is finished. Friedman Fries. Some people, kind of boring thematically. I guess you're an office worker filing papers, but it's got an addictive quality to it. You get a pack of cards. There's some special abilities on some of the cards, and you're just trying to place the cards in order. It's, I saw Freeman Fries talk about this game, and he goes, here's the easy level. I don't find it that easy, but it does have an addictive quality to it, and I do enjoy it, and I do play it. I've been playing it a lot, and I play the app as well. The app is pretty cool. This is my number 10. Number 9, I have a very quirky game called Mr. Cabbage Head's Garden. Look at that cover. The cards are beautiful. They're sort of vintage vegetables, and you're building a little garden, and and on this little grid, and you're trying to score points by putting cards in line together and things. And sometimes your neighbor comes over and makes your life difficult. Quirky little game, quirky art, and also a joy to play. I play this game. Unfortunately, again, this is not available, and it should be reprinted. It really should. I think a lot of people would still buy this game. You can play it with more than one player, but it's just a joy to play solitaire. So this is my number 9. Number 8 is Palm Island. Now, I love Palm Island because, basically it's just a few cards. You don't need a table to play. You could just be sitting somewhere and just hold the cards in your hand and you play the game. And you're managing resources and you're building, growing your buildings by adding more resources to them and things. And anyway, it's just I'll talk more about this at some point. It's just a few cards. You play it. You don't need a table. You hold the cards in your hand. You can play this game anywhere. And it's I've ever since I got this, I will play it regularly. So I really enjoy Palm Island, and therefore it's my number 8. Let's go to number 7 now, and this is a brain burner, and it's Chrononauts, the solitaire Chrononauts. This is, you have to get 8 different time travelers home, and then there's, you got to change histories, some historical events, and you got to use linchpins, and there's paradoxes. I mean, this is a brain burner. So when I'm in the mood to really think, I will play Chrononauts. It takes a certain amount of space on the table because you're putting a bunch of cards out to create a historical timeline, an accurate historical timeline, which you will need to change to get certain time travelers home. Solitaire, love it. So therefore, Chrononauts is my number 7. Number 6 is an absolute joy to play, and that's Metro X. Metro X is a little train, subway lines. There's a picture here. Little subway lines, you have to try to finish these lines, and of course, certain lines will be blocked. It's a puzzly game, but I sit on the couch and I play this. These are dry erase boards, dry erase pens. There's a few cards, but you could just place those cards next to you on the sofa or something. So I sit on the couch and I play this game. It's puzzly, not as puzzly as Chrononauts, but just so much fun to play. I really enjoy, the gameplay for this. So this therefore gets a number 6 on my top 10 solitaire list. You can play with other players as well, but I also enjoy it very much and play it frequently as a solitaire game. Okay? Now let's go to my number 5, and my number 5 is when I'm in the mood for a little longer game, and that is At the Gates of Loyang. A lot of people love playing this game solitaire. This is one of my favorite Uwe Rosenberg games in general with other people or as a solitaire. And I love playing Reykholt as well. And every now and then I'll play Reykholt solitaire because I just like the little vegetables and things. But this is, accounting, You're really trying to balance the production of your vegetables with selling your vegetables, and you're going up the pathway to prosperity. It's a game that requires a little more setup. It takes a little longer to play as a solitaire, but when I'm in that mood, I will play this. And I've been playing At the Gates of Loyang as a solitaire for years. And it makes my list because it continues to be one of my favorite games. So number 5, At the Gates of Loyang. Now number 4 on my list is a game that's no longer available, unfortunately, and that's SOS Titanic. SOS Titanic? Yeah. Yes, I understand it's basically Klondike, but The components are really nice. You know, you get a ship, a little booklet, and you turn the pages of this booklet as the Titanic sinks, and the cards are people, and you're trying to save these people from a sinking Titanic. So, you know, essentially, there's some cards like some characters that have certain abilities that help you. You know, it enhances the game a little bit. It's not just Klondike, you know. There's more to it. But it's just such a joy to play this game. SOS Titanic, I love it. I don't know why they haven't made an app of this, because you could easily make an app of SOS Titanic, and I think a ton of people would buy it. People who play Klondike would love to have a game like this that adds a little more to Klondike, you know, especially thematically. You know, the cards are people. You're trying to save people from a sinking ship. I mean, I love it. I play it regularly. I've played it for years, and it continues to be one of my favorite solitaire games, SOS Titanic at number 4. And at number 3, my favorite game of the Oniverse series. Can you guess? Well, it's not Onirim. I love Onirim, and I've played Onirim a ton of times, but this is not Onirim. Can you guess? Okay, it's Arion. It's my favorite game of the Oniverse series. Okay, you got these ships. You're trying to complete them, and then add a pilot to them, and you know, this is some dice rolling. You got the cards. The art is just but the art in any Oniverse game is attractive, but the gameplay and everything, Arion is my favorite of the Oniverse series. So therefore it gets number 3 on my list of top 10 solitaire games. And I got a little tower here that's about to collapse. My number 2 solitaire game, and I play this game when I want to get beat up, and I'm a fan of the designer, and that is The Lost Expedition. You're trying to find El Dorado, and you're in the jungle. Thematically, I think it's a wonderful game thematically, and you have all these obstacles. You know, you have quicksand, you have snakes, you have steep hills, you have poisoned, spoiled food. I mean, you got all kinds of different obstacles that you got to get through the day. At nighttime, food is very hard to come by. You can play it cooperatively, and I enjoy it as a cooperative game, but I really, really love it as a solitaire game, and I will play it frequently. But when I'm in the mood to get beat up, because you do get beat up, and this is not an easy game to win, but a lot of fun to play. And therefore, The Lost Expedition is my number 2. And now my number 1, all right. Promise you're not going to get upset, all right? I don't know. If you've been watching videos on my channel, maybe you won't be too surprised. Maybe you will, but just... okay, here's my number 1 solitaire game. Are you ready? Okay. Yes. Yeah, wait, hear me out. The game, On Fire. This has gotten more play than anything else. I play the app all the time. I play these cards all the time. I love playing this game cooperatively. It's a lot of fun. A lot of my friends have a copy of this game. I play this game a lot, and it has to be my number 1 because it's got more play than anything else. I still love the game, and the game On Fire. Now, you have, this is harder to find here in the US, but you got this version here. And nothing stops you from finding out what the On Fire cards are and just kind of marking those specific cards on this version of the game, and you got yourself the game On Fire as well. You can probably, I'm sure you can find the rules for the game On Fire online. It's nothing really. It's just certain cards are labeled like they're on fire, so when you play them, you have to put that fire out on your very next turn or you lose the game. So it just makes the game a little more challenging, but Yes, I hope I didn't upset anybody. And, the game. This was a Spiel des Jahres nominated game in 2015. This is, I know some people were surprised by that, but, it got the nomination for German Game of the Year. I really enjoy the game. I play it a lot, played it more than anything else, and absolutely, this is my number one solitaire game. So there you have it. Those are my top 10. The list changes often, and I'll do another list next year, with some new games. If you know some games, because obviously I haven't played them all, so if you've seen this list of games here that I enjoy, and you know a game that could fit in there, please put it down in the comments or send me a message. Let me know, because, clearly I'm sure I've missed a lot of wonderful solitaire games, and maybe you can help me out with that. But these are my top 10 with my honorable mentions, and that's it for my list. I'll see you next time.